Darth Revan, renowned as the Revanchist, honored as Revan, reviled as Revan the Butcher, dreaded as the Dark Lord of the Sith, and praised as the Prodigal Knight, was a human male who played pivotal roles as both Jedi and Sith in the Mandalorian Wars and the Jedi Civil War. In the Outer Rim territories, Revan was born in the year 3994 BBY and studied under a number of different Jedi Masters as a Padawan of the Jedi Order. Becoming fast friends with a fellow student named Alek, the young man became a Jedi Knight and was vocal and charismatic critic of the Order's inactivity in the ongoing Mandalorian Wars between the Galactic Republic and the Mandalorian warrior clans. Leading the Revanchist movement in defiance of the Jedi Council's wishes and taking on the name Revan, the Knight donned a mask of a fallen Mandalorian as he joined the Republic military's fight and was appointed Supreme Commander. However, when Revan defeated the Mandalorian leader, Mandalore the Ultimate, at the Battle of Malachor V in 3960 BBY, Revan and his friend Alek, now known as Malak, followed a trail of a mysterious Sith influence on the Mandalorian Wars to the unknown regions. There, the two discovered a reconstituted Sith Empire and returned to the dark side of the Force by the Sith Emperor. Sent back to the Republic as advanced agents, the newly anointed Darth Lords of the Sith, Darth Revan and Darth Malak, broke free of the Emperor's mental control and established their own empire with the Starforge. The Starforge was an ancient space station of great power and was built by the Rakata species. Using the Starforge to construct a military fleet and weapons, Revan and Malak waged war against the Republic, which resulted in the Jedi Civil War. However, Revan was betrayed by his Sith apprentice Malak and captured by the Jedi Knight Bastila Shan, who saved Revan and formed a Force bond with her captive. With his mind wiped, Revan was given a new identity as a Republic soldier by the Jedi Council and was stationed aboard the Republic warship Endar Spire. However, when Malak attacked the spire above the planet Taurus in a failed attempt to capture Shan, Revan joined forces with the Republic officer Carthanasi and a number of other individuals on Taurus to locate Bastila and escape the world before Malak destroyed the planet's surface. Revan and his friends traveled to the planet Dantui's Jedi Enclave, where he was retrained as a Jedi Padawan. Sent on a mission to locate the star maps, Rakatan artifacts that will lead the way to the Starforge, Revan gained new allies and grew close to Bastila during their travels. However, when the group was captured by Malak, Revan's true identity was revealed and Bastila was captured, forcing Revan and his crew to find the final map to locate the Starforge on their own. Aboard the Starforge, Revan brought the fallen Bastila back to the light side of the Force with his love and defeated Malak, earning the Cross of Glory and the title of Prodigal Knight. Revan married Bastila and sank into obscurity for several years, until his resurfacing memories led him to leave his wife and unborn child behind in search of answers in the unknown regions. Captured by the Sith, he was imprisoned for 3 years until a former lieutenant of his named Mitra Surik rescued him with the help of the Sith Lord Scourge. The trio's attempt to eliminate the Emperor failed, and Revan was held captive by the Emperor for 300 years until he was finally freed by the Republic forces. Taking control of the Rakatan Foundry, Revan attempted to construct an army of extermination droids to destroy the Empire, but the Jedi Master died when he was defeated by an Imperial strike team. However, the torture he experienced at the hands of the Emperor had splintered Revan's mind, and while part of him attempted to become one with the Force, the rest rejected death and clung to life, embracing the dark side. Taking control of the fanatical Order of Revan, he sought to destroy the Sith Emperor once and for all by bringing the Sith ruler back to a physical form and killing him. But both the Empire and the Republic joined forces in an attempt to stop him. Revan's light side was unable to pass on and aided the coalition in defeating the Dark Revan, and although the Emperor was able to regain his strength, the two halves of Revans merged and were able to die a final death. Revan's spirit went on to aid the heroes of the galaxy in defeating the Sith Emperor once and for all, and with his task completed, he became one with the Force. His legacy, however, would live on. The Sith Lord Darth Revan, who lived during the 1,000-year conflict known as the New Sith Wars, chose his Sith name after reading a damaged manuscript about Revan, and the Sith Lord Darth Bane discovered Revan's Sith holocron on the planet Lahan and used Revan's teachings to develop the Rule of Two philosophy. Revan was a highly skilled combatant, particularly with a lightsaber. He was skilled at deflecting and redirecting enemy fire with his lightsaber, and his abilities were bolstered by his gift of precognition. He often made use of aerobatic maneuvers in combat, bolstering his body's natural abilities with the Force in order to increase his effectiveness. While he normally wielded a lightsaber, Revan was also proficient in the use of firearms, as he made use of blaster weaponry during his time as a Republic soldier and while fighting in the Taurus dueling ring. Revan was extraordinarily powerful in the Force, even as a young Jedi Knight. After becoming a Sith Lord, Revan's powers grew as he studied the dark side of the Force, and after his Force redemption, the man quickly retrained himself in the ways of the light side at a rate beyond that of a normal Padawan. At the height of his powers, after he had rediscovered his lost memories, Revan was able to channel both the light and the dark side simultaneously. As a result, Revan could unleash the Force in its purest form by opening himself to both sides of the Force in battle. By drawing on the Force, Revan could bolster his natural physical abilities, increasing his speed and strength and allowing him to perform acrobatic feats impossible for normal humans. Revan was a master at telekinesis, utilizing the Force to manipulate the environment and his opponents by pushing or gripping objects or beings with the Force. His skill with telekinesis was so powerful that he could hurl a heavy stone object at a moment's notice. And on Droman Kos, the Jedi Master destroyed a large stone archway from a great distance with just the power of the Force. As a Sith Lord, Revan also utilized the Force to choke opponents, as well as the ability to violently crush their internal organs or bodies with the dark side. In battle, Revan often threw his lightsaber and guided its path with telekinesis. During the fighting on Yavin 4, the Dark Revan proved capable of wielding 2 additional lightsabers telekinetically, setting them spinning around the battlefield. Revan's strong will allowed him to mentally influence the minds of others and force his will upon from them and even steal their knowledge. Despite the immense strength of the Sith Emperor's will, Revan and Malek's own mental strength enabled them to partially free themselves from his mental control, and Revan spent several centuries influencing the Emperor and pacifying his desire to attack the Republic. One of Revan's greatest strengths was his skill with Force Sense, the ability to sense other beings, their feelings, impending danger, or even the future. Farsight and Force visions were a common occurrence for Revan, and even in a heavily drugged state, the Jedi was able to glimpse into the future and see that Surik was coming to rescue him from imprisonment. Revan was proficient at using the Force to directly heal his wounds without seeking medical attention. He also possessed the ability to use the Force to resist the effects of poison and drugs, though he was not always able to overcome their effects completely. Some of Revan's additional talents included the ability to use the Force to slow the minds and bodies of his targets and replenish his energies by feeding on them. After becoming a Sith Lord, Revan became a practitioner of Force lightning, and he continued to be proficient in its uses throughout his life, using it against his opponents in his final battle aboard the Foundry. His skill with the destructive applications of the dark side was such that he could summon Force storms, and Revan also became proficient in the use of defensive techniques in order to counter both physical attacks and the Force powers of his opponents. Revan was capable of absorbing and redirecting energy, as he did when he absorbed Darth Nihilus' storm of Force lightning with his bare hands and channeled it through his own body before redirecting it against her and burning her to ash. Revan's mastery of both sides of the Force aided in the mental fracture that he experienced in the Foundry. One half became one with the Force, but the other embraced the dark side and was fueled solely by hatred. His strength of will was so powerful that he held himself back from death, and the Dark Revan retained control over his body that was centuries old. Once the two halves merged and Revan fully became one with the Force, his physical form vanished, leaving behind his mask, lightsaber, and robes. The Dark Revan was also capable of telekinetically incapacitating almost a dozen separate combatants with the light and dark sides of the Force, and could hold its own against a large number of skilled combatants simultaneously. Revan was an exceptionally capable strategist and tactician, and some believe that he was single-handedly responsible for the Republic's victory during the Mandalorian Wars. Revan's skill as a battlefield commander earned him the undying respect of both the Mandalorian and Echani warrior cultures. Revan was a skilled mechanic, exhibiting the natural talent and interest in machinery and droids as a young Padawan. Revan's preference of droids confounded his teacher Kreia, who came to believe that it was a result of Revan's desire for subordinates who followed orders unquestioningly. A skilled pilot, Revan could draw on the Force to aid his situational awareness and proved adept at racing swoop bikes after defeating the veteran racer Redros on Terrace. He later won both the Arcani Sector and Manan Swoop championships during the search for the Starforge. Through both the Mandalorian Wars and the Jedi Civil Wars, Revan wore his trademark mask and robes. Only Malek, Bastila, and the Jedi Council were able to recognize Revan without the mask after he was defeated and redeemed by the Jedi. Revan utilized a variety of lightsabers during his lifetime. When he first adopted the name of Revan, he carried a saber with a violet blade, but he utilized a cyan-colored lightsaber during most of the Mandalorian Wars. As a Sith Lord, Revan wielded a red lightsaber that he crafted himself, and also utilized a set of robes that had been created by the Starforge and provided more protection than standard armor. The redeemed Revan made use of the blue lightsaber once again in his battle against Darth Malek and the Sith, though he did change either the crystal or the entire lightsaber by the year 3954 BBY so that the blade was green. After being freed from stasis, Revan was once again utilized with the same lightsaber, only with a violet crystal until his time of his disappearance at the Foundry. The battle in the Foundry damaged his mask, leaving a vertical scar across the left half of his mask, and the Dark Revan continued to wear the tattered remains of the same robes he had worn for centuries. He also acquired a second lightsaber with a red blade that he wielded in addition with his purple one, and could summon two additional lightsabers that he controlled using the Force. So almost like a Force-created General Grievous type thing going on here. Revan's lightsaber, mask, and robes were left behind when his body vanished after becoming one with the Force.